they chant Haribol, 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 he will stop crying. And so the Lord used this as a tactic to get everyone to chant the names of Hari. So as we know, Hari means Krishna and Bol means to chant. So he used this. So now it became so popular in his household that everybody would chant Haribol. And I will go through, I'm not going to go into all details because we have very short time. Well, I'll just go through little small pastimes just to get a quick glimpse of Mahaprabhu's we probably won't be able to go through the entire thing from the time he appeared to when he left this world at the age of 48. And actually the way he left is not the way we would leave. So this is actually important, so I'll say it now. So when Mahaprabhu pastimes were over and he was ready to leave this particular Leela, devotees saw him in 3 different places. One place they saw him, he had his arms up high, raised up high, and he ran into the ocean, chanting Haribol. Another place they saw him is in Jagannath Puri temple, the famous Jagannath temple in Jagannath Puri. So he went into the altar area where Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra is. He closed the curtain and disappeared. Similarly, he ran into the ocean and disappeared. And the third place he was noticed, this was all simultaneously at the same time. They saw him go into the temple of Tota Gopinath. So actually, I think this might be the only temple in the world where the Supreme Lord is actually sitting. He's in a sitting posture with his legs crossed. So even though we go to Mandir and we see the Lord on the altar, and we say that altar we call Singhasan, right? Singha means lion, Asan means seat. So the seat of the lion among everyone. This is Lord Krishna. So the idea, if that's an asana, it means that he's sitting. But actually we always see him standing. We never actually see him actually sitting. But in this temple, so anyone who gets an opportunity to visit Jagannath Puri, you must go and visit this temple. And if you go and you visit this temple, you will see Tota Gopinath in a sitting posture. And if you're lucky, which actually I was, the last time I was in in Puri, I went to the temple and they will let you see the spot where Mahaprabhu disappeared. So Mahaprabhu went on the altar of Tota Gopinath, he closed the curtain. So you know in India, they would have a door, but also a curtain that they will pull, right? He closed the curtain and he disappeared into the left side of Tota Gopinath. So Tota Gopinath is a deity that's completely dark, black marble. But if you go there, which is what I did the last time I was there, I went for Mangalarti, and you stay until the Pujari is doing the bathing and dressing of the Lord, and you give a donation, he will show you the spot. So I was able to see. So that spot on the hip of Tota Gopinath, you can see a golden streak. So the entire body of the Lord is black marble, but that particular spot, there's a golden streak. And this is where Mahaprabhu entered into the body of the deity and disappeared. So he was seen 3 different times, 3 different places at the exact same time, because their story was corroborated later on, that at exactly the same time, everyone saw him go to these 3 places and disappear. So, just coming back to the early pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu he grew up in Mayapur, and at the age of 5, he was sent to school, as most children are. He was sent to Gurukul. But within a couple of days, so Mayapur is actually in what's today called the state of West Bengal in India. So he went to Gurukul, and so everyone speaks Bengali in that vicinity. So he went to school, and in 2 days, he was able to master the entire Bengali language. Reading, writing, grammar, everything. And there's nothing else to do. So he finished school, he went back home. And he engaged in many different pastimes. One pastime I'll tell you. There was a Brahmin who one day was traveling through that place, and he came to the home of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi. And they allowed him to stay at their house. So this Brahmin would cook and offer to the Lord. So he cooked a great quantity of food, and he placed it on the altar and rang the bell. And as he started ringing the bell and saying the prayers, Mahaprabhu came and ate all of the food. So he became a little dejected that this little boy came in and ate all the food. So he came and he complained to Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi, and they begged him. They said, please cook again and offer it. So he went to the kitchen and he cooked up another huge feast, and he took it to the altar. He placed the offering on the altar, and he closed his eyes and started ringing the bell. And then he can hear some sounds of dishes and so on. And he opened his eyes, and there is Mahaprabhu again, eat everything that he offered. So again he became upset. And again he went and complained to Jagannath Mishra. And so Jagannath Mishra begged him, please, one more time, please do it. So again he went to the kitchen, and again he started cooking. And by now the day was almost over. And he was crying as he was cooking, and he was very tired, but nevertheless he cooked, and he brought it to the altar, and he put it on. By then everyone had fallen asleep in the household, and it was just him and Nimai. So he put the food on the altar, and he started ringing the bell again, and again Mahaprabhu came in and started eating everything. And now he was like, that was it. He was finished. So he was totally. And then Mahaprabhu revealed his real self. He reassumed his form of Lord Krishna. And then the Brahmin realized that this is actually, he was offering the food to Krishna, and Krishna was actually coming and eating the food every time he offered it. So that was one of the Lord's pastime. When he was a little boy in Mayapur. So now Mahaprabhu grew a little older. One time there were 2 dacoits, and Mahaprabhu was always dressed in nice jewelry, and he looked very effulgent, as he should be, as he is, very effulgent. But the jewel wasn't making him effulgent. He was actually making the jewelry effulgent. And so these 2 dacoits were passing, and they saw him, and they stole him, and gave him some sweets, and lure him away with the intention of stealing his jewelry. But Mahaprabhu overcame them, and they weren't able to steal his jewelry, and they left him and ran away, and then he just made his way back home. So now when the Lord was about 8 years of age, he was sent to Gurukul in Navadvip. So Navadvip, Mayapur is actually on an island in the Ganga. So on one side there's the Ganga called Bhagirathi, and then on another side there's another river called Jalangi, and that's, which river is that in reality? Which one? Yamuna. So this Mayapur is on an island in that in between these two rivers. So to get to Navadvip, you have to take a boat and go on the other side of the river to the town of Navadvip. And Navadvip and Mayapur is in the district of Nadia in West Bengal, right? Or as they say in India, Jila. It's the Zila Parishad is in a place called Krishnanagar, which is the capital of the district of Nadia. So he went to school there, and this time he went to a school that taught Sanskrit. And again, within a couple of short days, the Lord mastered the entire Sanskrit language, reading, writing, etc. So again, there was nothing for him to do. So Mahaprabhu, at that time in India, about around 1486, in that particular period, Bengal was known to be the seat of higher education. So you would have kavis and sages and so on from all over India. They will come there and they will sit like the sages did 5,000 years ago in Naimisharanya. They sat to hear Bhagavatam. But they will come there to sit and debate the finer points of our philosophy. So there were many pundits who were very proud of themselves. We call them smarta Brahmins. So these Brahmins who are very particular. You can only do this, but you cannot do that. You can only look at Krishna this way. You can only, like so many strictures are there that they follow, and they want. If somebody who is not a Brahman, a lower class person walk, and their shadow touches the Brahman's shadow, then they will start reading mantras and throwing water and doing all kinds of things to counteract the sin that they might accumulate from having somebody else's shadow touch their shadow. So this is how fanatical they were. So now there was a great Kavi who was coming to Navadvip and wanted to have